Chosen one, they have spent nights chasing signs, grasping at fate like it was just beyond reach. They have felt the weight of unanswered prayers and watched their plans crumble in silence. They have wondered if the world was built to keep them small, to dim their spark. Now hidden truths are stepping into the light. What if their real power lay not in forcing outcomes, but in surrendering control? Today they will learn why stillness is their greatest weapon, how detachment sparks true awakening, and why the void they fear is the birthplace of their revenge. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. Stay with us. What they discover next will change everything. Stop chasing, start facing. They have felt the burn of endless striving, the hollow ache that comes when every plan, every goal, every desperate push still leaves them empty. In the quiet moments between tasks, their heart whispers that something deeper is calling, but the roar of do more drowns it out. They wonder if they're the only ones trapped in this cycle, racing toward a finish line that keeps moving. Yet this is where their truth begins. They are not alone, and the very drive that has driven them to exhaustion is a sign. Underneath their exhaustion lies a hidden door, a path back to their own soul. Here, in these precious minutes together, they will uncover why the chase has been their greatest illusion, and how surrendering that chase may finally set them free. Have they ever noticed how each achievement seems to arrive with an echo of dissatisfaction? They celebrate a victory, only to find the high fades faster than a candle in the wind. They wake in the night, haunted by what's next, clutching at the hope that the next big move will finally fill the void. Perhaps they recall the time they forsook a night with loved ones to perfect a presentation, or the afternoon they skipped a friend's call to chase yet another breakthrough. These moments haunt them, reminders of the price paid for a mirage. The emotional weight of this relentless pursuit can feel like gravestones marking the graves of forgotten dreams. The dream of peace, the dream of contentment, the dream of simply being enough as they are. Yet every heartbreak, every sleepless hour, every dropped stitch in their tapestry of control has been part of a divine prelude. In the dusty scrolls of 1 Kings 19 verses 11 to 13, they find themselves mirrored in Elijah's moment on the mountain, where the fire and earthquake passed, but it was the gentle whisper that revealed God's presence. Their struggle has not been punishment. It is the sacred forging of their spirit. Each shattered illusion and abandoned ambition has prepared them to hear that still, small voice. They are being drawn to a higher vantage point, where the storm breaks into silence, and they stand ready at the rampart, looking, not steering. Now they begin to see the first subtle cracks in the wall of their own making. They notice that when they pause, the tension in their chest softens. A flicker of clarity arrives. Perhaps that worry is not theirs to carry. Perhaps that relationship strain is inviting them into deeper truth rather than avoiding conflict. These are the signs of transformation, sacred synchronicities in their daily life. A friend appears just when they're about to text for help. A song plays on the radio that feels like a message written on air. A childhood memory resurfaces to remind them of who they were before ambition took the wheel. These gentle ripples are proof that divine timing is aligning everything around them in perfect choreography. Behind the scenes, unseen hands are gathering the fragments of their life and piecing them into something whole. Their past rejections, the closed doors, the moments they thought they failed. These are not random. They have been guided by intelligence beyond their own, drawing their deeper energy toward a destiny that cannot be forced. In Zechariah 4 verse 6 they read, "Not by might nor by power, but by my spirit, says the Lord of hosts." This sacred metaphor of a celestial scroll unrolling before them speaks of a plan already written. Their soul's journey is being orchestrated with precision. Every stumble, every no, every desperate sprint has been a step forward in divine choreography. But to fully awaken to this alignment, they must say yes out loud to their own becoming. Many shrink from such a commitment, clutching their familiar patterns even as they exhaust them. The unknown feels like a chasm, and it's easier to keep sprinting than to let go and fall into faith. Yet here, in the hush of their own heart, lies a mirror reflecting a soul reborn. They stand at the crossroads of fear and freedom. Will they embrace the invitation to rest in this moment, to breathe in the fullness of what is unfolding? This is the sacred threshold where transformation shifts from idea to reality, where they become the hero they've been chasing. Now they hold the reins not by tightening their grip, but by opening their palm. They release the need to control outcomes, uncertainties, and doubts. They plant their feet in the soil of now and claim their chosen identity. They affirm, "I am more than my next achievement. I am the witness of my own soul's awakening." With this declaration, their energy lifts like dawn breaking over a dark horizon. They lean into practices that honor stillness, brief pauses in their day to listen, moments of journaling to face hidden fears, rituals of gratitude to anchor themselves in present grace. Each act of surrender becomes a prayer that their soul accepts. And now, as they look ahead, they feel the power of unforced flow surging through every fiber of their being. They carry the wisdom of surrender into every choice, choosing rest over rush, integrity over image, truth over pretense. They have stepped off the treadmill of endless ambition and onto the ground of authentic becoming. The walls they once built through frantic effort are dissolving, revealing a vast landscape of possibility. In that open space, they stand, unbroken and whole, witnessing the divine working through them at every turn. Comment stillness if you hear this echo within your soul. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community, a private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join our private membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Detachment is awakening. They have held tight to every goal as if it were a lifeline, their grip driven by fear that without it they would sink. Their heart races at dawn as they plan the day. They replay every mistake in dizzying loops at night. In these moments, they feel alone and lost. They wonder if the cost of achievement is worth the price of their peace. Yet what if the very thing they clutch so hard is the chain that binds them? What if release, not pursuit, is the key to their true power? As the wind of change stirs on the horizon, hidden echoes of a deeper call begin to vibrate through their soul. Over the next minutes, they will learn how letting go can become their greatest act of courage, and how this act will hum a new song through every cell of their being. Have they ever asked themselves why, despite every win, a hollow ache remains? It might come after a promotion, when they find themselves restless and searching again for the next target. Or perhaps it creeps in when a relationship they fought to save still fractures at their feet. They know that ache. They know that ache. It lives in their morning coffee, in the quiet of their car rides, in the pause between one task and the next. It feels like a shadow of doubt that whispers, "It is never enough." They see other people who seem to glide through life with ease, and they wonder if those souls have a secret they were never taught. This is the weight they carry, the tug of war between what they want and what they already are. Then comes the turning point, the moment when struggle steps into purpose. In Hosea's message, they hear a voice they did not expect. "I will allure her, and bring her into the wilderness, and speak comfortably unto her." Hosea 2 verse 14. This is no random hardship but a sacred drawing, a divine invitation to the stillness of the desert where true healing begins. The wild emptiness clears out the noise of their old ambitions. Every craving for control dissolves like sand through their fingers. They begin to see that wilderness itself holds wisdom, and that each moment of disorientation is in service of an inner alignment far greater than any goal they once chased. Slowly, like dawn brushing the night sky, they notice signs of their own shift. A task that once felt urgent now seems less pressing. A fleeting thought of doubt is met with a steady calm. They catch a clear breeze of insight when a song on the radio names exactly what they feel but could not say. They find their steps lightening, their mind quieting. Even their dreams change, showing them scenes of open fields and calm waters instead of frantic chases. These are the footprints of transformation. They may go unnoticed by others, but to them they are as vivid as stars appearing after a long night. Divine timing has begun its dance, weaving their story into a tapestry of grace. Behind the scenes, unseen forces are at work, clearing debris from their path. Their past failures, the doors that slammed shut, the plans that fell apart. All of it has been a part of a grand design. They read in Zephaniah's words that, "The Lord is in the midst of her. She shall not be moved. Zephaniah 3 verse 17. Their spirit is being lifted on wings of purpose they cannot yet see. Celestial maps are unfolding above them, charting a way where once there was only confusion. Every coincidence, every friendly smile, every piece that falls into place is a coded message letting them know their journey is known and guided. Now comes the moment of self-realization, the point where they must choose to embrace what is unfolding. Many shrink from this choice. They fear that letting go means losing themselves. It feels as if stepping off the ledge of what they know will lead to a void. Yet this is the sacred mirror where they must stand. They face their reflection, and their soul whispers, yes. They say it aloud, their voice quivering with truth. In that single word, they break the pattern of resistance. They open their chest and let the new light flood in. It is a personal vow that rings through every corner of their being. With that vow comes a call to action that is different from anything they have done before. They do not strive harder. They simply step into each moment with the awareness that they are worthy without proving anything. They choose rest over rush, clarity over clutter, presence over projection. They find a minute in the morning to breathe into the stillness, a moment at night to honor the quiet. They listen for the small nudges that guide their next steps. In these simple acts, they reclaim their power. They are no longer lost in the quest for more. They stand firmly as the ones they were always meant to be. The path before them stretches wide and open, free from the fences they built in their mind. Here, they see the true horizon of their calling. They feel the pulse of divine rhythm in their chest. Each breath is a note in the song of their awakening. They realize that detachment is not empty. It is the fertile soil where their spirit plants new seeds. They feel a fresh surge of hope that they could only taste in dreams. As they walk into this moment, they feel themselves finally alive in the way they always knew they were meant to be. Comment release if this resonates with you. And to every soul who supported with a super thanks, thank you. You are keeping this light alive for others who haven't found it yet. If you feel called to help this mission reach more chosen ones, tap the super thanks button below. Your energy supports these messages and helps them travel further. Your voice matters, your belief matters, and your light is felt here. The void is sacred, not empty. They wake each morning with a hollow in their chest, an ache that whispers of something lost. They have come to fear the silence, as though emptiness were a graveyard of abandoned hopes. Yet in the stillness between breaths lies a threshold they have long avoided. It is the place where all the noise of chasing finally falls away, and they stand face to face with themselves. They have been taught to flee from this void, to fill every quiet moment with strategies and plans. Yet it is here that their true awakening stirs. What if the silence is not a tomb but a sanctuary? What if the emptiness they dread is the cradle of their rebirth? In the next moments, they will discover how the void they fear is the sacred womb of their soul's emergence. Have they ever noticed how, after every fierce push toward a goal, a strange emptiness follows? They achieve the milestone, hold the trophy, and yet find their hands trembling and their heart unsteady. Perhaps they remember sitting alone in the evening, the glow of the screen flickering on their face, and feeling a quiet despair that no victory could dispel. They have tasted the bitterness of rejection too many times, felt the sting of purpose slipping away even as they clung harder. This emotional weight feels like a void inside, a darkness they cannot fill with success or validation. It is as if every triumph only deepens the emptiness, a stark reminder that they have been searching for something far beyond what the world can offer. Then comes the turning point, the moment when the void reveals its sacredness. They stumble upon the words of Zechariah 8 verse 12, a verse seldom heard. The seed will grow well, the vine will yield its fruit, the ground will yield its crops, and the heavens will drop their dew. It speaks of abundance born not from labor but from the gentle cooperation of heaven and earth. Their emptiness is not a void to fill but a fertile field awaiting the dew of divine grace. This shift reframes their struggle as preparation rather than punishment. They are not hollowed out by life but cultivated by it, called to receive rather than to produce. Subtle signs begin to emerge, like early shoots breaking through winter soil. They notice that their dreams take on a new texture, visions of open skies, vast landscapes where they roam without burden. A song drifts through a crowded cafe and stops them in their tracks because it carries the exact note of their unspoken longing. They feel goosebumps when a stranger's kindness arrives at the perfect moment, or when a line of poetry in an old book leaps off the page as though written for them. These are the visible and invisible shifts that mark their awakening. They begin to see that the universe is aligning not according to their frantic commands, but according to a rhythm far more subtle and profound. Behind the scenes, unseen orchestration is unfolding. Their past disappointments, the times they felt abandoned, the plans that crumbled. All of this has been a sacred clearing of the stage. In Ezekiel 36 verse 26, they read an image of this mystery. I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will remove your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. Their void is not emptiness, but a space making room for something living and tender. Celestial maps are unfurling in the heavens. Coded dreams guide their steps, and sealed scrolls within their soul begin to unlock. Their destiny is being charted by forces beyond sight, drawing them toward a purpose they cannot yet articulate. In this moment of revelation, they stand at the mirror of their own soul, confronted by a choice. Many shrink from the invitation to enter the void, mistaking it for loss. They fear that surrender will leave them adrift, without the crutches they have leaned on so long. But true alignment calls for more than observation, it demands participation. They must say yes to the emptiness, allowing themselves to be reshaped. In that sacred yes, their heart softens, the walls of resistance dissolve, and they feel themselves open to a flow that carries them beyond fear. Now they feel the power of that yes echoing through every fiber of their being. They carry the void not as a burden but as a banner of their awakening. They choose to rest in the pause between moments, trusting that silence will give birth to clarity. They honor the emptiness by turning inward, by breathing into the spaces where tension once lived, and by letting those spaces expand. Each breath is a prayer, each quiet moment a ceremony of rebirth. They step into daily rituals that honor this sacred void, journaling in dawn's hush, walking barefoot on grass, listening for the song of their own heartbeat. As they walk forward, they carry a new conviction. The void is not empty but pregnant with possibility. They feel the pulse of creation beneath their feet, the whisper of unseen hands guiding their steps. In this sacred emptiness, they are whole. They have discovered that the greatest gifts arrive not when they force the world to move, but when they rest within the mystery. Comment void if this resonates with you. Shadow work is manifestation work. They have always believed that strength meant pushing their pain aside, burying every ache beneath strategies and smiles. They've filled their days with tasks that promise escape, turning every shadow into a hurried to-do list rather than a mirror to their soul. Yet when night falls and the noise dissipates, they still feel hollow. What if the very darkness they avoid holds the key to their deepest power? In the coming moments, they will discover why embracing their shadow is not an admission of weakness but a declaration of wholeness, an essential step in manifesting the life they were born to live. Have they noticed how attempts to overwrite old wounds with new achievements often leave them with a nagging sense that something fundamental is missing? They chase promotions, accolades, and applause, only to find that each victory fades like mist at sunrise, leaving behind a lingering whisper. Why do I still feel broken? Perhaps they recall the sting of rejection when a friendship dissolved or a trust was betrayed, the way their chest tightened when old fears resurfaced in unexpected moments. The weight of unacknowledged shame and hurt follows them like a silent companion, coloring their decisions, seeding doubt, and whispering that they're unworthy of true fulfillment. Then comes the turning point, when struggle transforms into sacred invitation. In 2 Corinthians 4 verse 7, they read a verse that humbles and inspires. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. Their pain, once seen as a flaw to hide, is revealed as a vessel for divine power. Each crack in their clay heart is a channel for grace to flow through. This revelation reframes their darkest moments not as detours, but as sanctified passages, forging a vessel both fragile and radiant, capable of holding the treasure of their true self. Now they begin to sense the early signs of transformation weaving through their everyday life. They feel a stirring of compassion when once they would have recoiled from their own fear. A moment of anger surfaces, and instead of reacting, they pause, curious, tender, allowing that emotion to speak its truth. They start to dream vivid scenes of underwater gardens where light filters through shadowed depths, mirroring their own journey into the hidden parts of their psyche. Synchronicities appear. A passerby shares a quote about healing scars. A book falls open to a page that names the grief they thought they'd buried. These subtle shifts, almost too quiet to notice, point to an unfolding alchemy within. Behind the scenes, unseen hands are guiding each step of their shadow work towards spiritual alignment. Their resistance, their moments of retreat, their tears and solitude, all these have been part of a divine choreography designed to awaken them. In Zephaniah 2 verse 3, they glimpse another hidden promise. Seek the Lord, all you humble of the land. Seek righteousness, seek humility. Perhaps you will be hidden on the day of the Lord's anger. The very humility of facing their own brokenness opens the door to hidden sanctuary, a place where faith transforms into manifestation. Their soul receives coded dreams, in which symbols of healing appear, like a phoenix rising in obsidian flames, guiding them toward destiny. At this threshold, they face a moment of profound self-realization. The transformation has moved from theory to tangible shift, but now they must choose to fully embody it. Many falter here, gripped by the fear that embracing their shadow means losing control or revealing too much. Yet true alignment demands more than observation. It calls for participation. They stand before the mirror of their own becoming, where every wound and every longing stares back with equal intensity. This is the sacred moment to say yes to the entire journey, to the darkness and the light, to the pain and the promise. Empowered by that yes, they take tangible next steps into their new reality. They carve out time each day to honor their inner work, whether through journaling, quiet meditation, or conversations with a trusted guide. They replace harsh self-judgment with gentle inquiry. What is this fear trying to show me? They set boundaries that protect their emerging clarity, releasing relationships that demand they shrink. They speak affirmations grounded in authenticity. I am the author of my own healing. My scars are gateways to wisdom. Each intentional choice becomes a stitch in the tapestry of their reborn identity, woven from threads of shadow and light. As they walk forward, they carry with them a renewed sense of purpose that hums through every decision. They see now that shadow work is not a side quest, but the very heart of manifestation. When they integrate each hidden fragment, they magnetize experiences that resonate with their true frequency. Doors open not because they force them, but because they vibrate in harmony with their destiny. They are no longer fragmented seekers, but whole beings, radiating the quiet confidence born of deep inner reconciliation. The final truth settles in like a sunrise after the longest night. Their shadow is not a burden, but a source of unbounded creativity and power. Their every wound, once feared, has sculpted them into vessels capable of holding their deepest longings and releasing them into the world. They stand at the threshold of their greatest emergence, ready to step into their fully realized self. Comment shadow if this resonates with you. A fractured dream returned to them in the stillness of dawn. They stood in a vast desert, wind carving lines in sand beneath a sky that shimmered with hidden stars. They woke with their heart pounding, the echo of that secret landscape lingering like a faint chant. In that moment, they understood they stood at the edge of something new, an era born from every surrender, every tear, every hard-won lesson. Their soul recognized this threshold, whispering that what once felt like loss was really preparation for emergence. They are not misplaced or abandoned. They are woven into a tapestry that only now begins to reveal its design. A deep ache has accompanied their journey, a longing born from the friction between who they were told to be and who they quietly knew themselves to be. They have chased approvals and accolades, only to find each laurel crown heavy with unspoken doubts. They remember the sting when a hopeful plan fell apart, the way rejection cut through them like cold steel. Their shoulders carry memories of nights spent wrestling with questions of worth. Am I enough? That fade only to return with morning's light. This emotional gravity has drawn them inward, carving the hollow that now calls them to fullness. Their struggle was not a random trial, but a sacred preparation. They discover this in the obscure promise of Zechariah 4 verse 10. Who dares despise the day of small things? In those words, they perceive the divine plan hidden in each humble beginning, each perceived failure. What looked like broken pieces were seeds planted beneath the surface, awaiting the right moment to burst into bloom. They realized that exile from old patterns was an invitation into deeper dimensions of strength, that every setback was the divine hand guiding their soul toward its destined elevation. Now they begin to see faint threads of transformation weaving through their life. A small habit of pausing before reacting softens the tension in their chest. A fleeting moment of clarity arrives in a crowded room, as if the world briefly parted to offer them a glimpse of their own truth. They notice synchronicities. A book left open on a passage that names exactly what they feel. A chance meeting with someone who embodies the freedom they crave. These shifts, at first almost imperceptible, herald a deeper season of alignment. The universe, they sense, has begun to rearrange itself in response to their inner awakening. They sense unseen hands drawing their path with meticulous care. Their past disappointments, the doors that slammed without warning, the nights spent wrestling with doubt, all have been part of a grand design to prepare them for this point. Spiritual currents move like rivers beneath the surface, guiding them toward clear water. They feel prophetic currents in coded dreams. A sealed scroll unfurls to reveal their name in letters of light. A celestial map appears in their mind's eye, marking the stars that guide their next steps. This is their story made mythic and real, a testament to the truth that faith shapes reality. Standing at this sacred crossroads, they face a moment of profound choice. They have seen the signs, felt the gentle tug of divine timing, glimpsed the transformation at work. Now they must embody it fully. So often, people shrink from this moment, afraid that surrender means drifting into nothingness. Yet here, in the silent mirror of their own becoming, they find the strength to say yes. They speak it aloud, their voice trembling with raw vulnerability and fierce determination. In that single declaration, they break free from old patterns and claim the next chapter of their journey. Rise into this new day with intention. Embrace the stillness that carries within it the power to reshape every part of your being. Release the last threads of fear and hesitation. Let them fall away like autumn leaves. Walk into your life as the author of your own destiny, scripting each moment with the clarity of your soul's vision. Deepen your practice in whatever way calls to you. A moment of breath, a line of prayer, a silent walk beneath the sky. Trust the currents that guide you. Your every step is supported by unseen grace. They stand now at the threshold of their becoming, no longer defined by what they have lost, but by the promise of what they are about to receive. Surrender is their strength. Release their awakening. The void their sacred crucible, and shadows the gold in their story. They have been seen, understood, and guided to their own truth. Their power is not borrowed. It is born from every struggle, every tear, every moment they chose to face themselves. Comment emerge if this resonates with you. Let your intentions today ripple outward in every interaction. Speak with purpose, offering kindness as freely as the air you breathe, knowing that small acts of presence can ignite great transformations in unseen lives. Carve out moments of reflection between tasks. Pause to witness the sunrise filtering through your window or to feel the heartbeat beneath your fingertips. In these quiet minutes, you anchor your larger vision into the tangible world, reinforcing that your destiny is woven into the fabric of your daily choices. Let each conscious moment become a testament to the sovereignty you carry within. Now stand tall and claim the fullness of your emergent story. No longer merely a wanderer in search of purpose, you are the architect of a new reality, one where every challenge you've overcome becomes a cornerstone of empowerment for yourself and others. They have found that their journey is not about forcing fate, but about remembering who they were before the world told them no. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment "I am chosen" to let this message anchor in your soul. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. For full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. step into the full light. And if this message moved you deeply, consider tapping the Super Thanks button to support the mission. Every Super Thanks fuels the light we're spreading together. They rise now,